Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for the Untangle Technology Partner webinar. My name is Shannon Bonfiglio. I'm part of the Untangle marketing team, and I'll be your host today. If you have any questions, please be sure to submit them in the Q&A box on the right-hand side. We have a few staff members, both from Untangle and from Ninja, that will be able to answer your questions. Today, this webinar is around NinjaRMM. We have Andy and AJ here who will be taking us through their product offering. And with that, I'll pass it over to Andy.
Great. Thank you, Shannon, for the introduction. My name is Andy. I'm the head of marketing here at Ninja. I'm with AJ, who I'm sure will introduce himself very shortly here. He's the director of product management. So what we're here to do today is to give you a quick tour of what NinjaRMM is and who we are as a company, what our software does, and then AJ will give a quick demonstration of the product live. And as Shannon mentioned, we will be monitoring all the question-related channels. So please feel free to submit questions as we go along here. So let's get started. So I have a couple of slides here, and we'll probably go about 10 minutes before we dive right into the product. So let's get started. So the first thing is, NinjaRMM, we get asked a lot, what does RMM stand for? So to answer that question, I'd like to first talk about, what is a managed IT service provider, because that's who we serve as a customer. There's two really defining factors that I think are important as being a managed IT service provider. One being that, you are proactive versus reactive in terms of resolving day-to-day help desk related issues. So typically a MSP or a managed IT service provider, they're on contract, right? And it's a subscription based. So typically they charge by, per dollar amount per endpoint and per server, and they cover all service related expenses for those endpoints being covered. And this is compared to often against a break fix type of model, where a client will reach out to the repair shop, and only if something's broken, right? So managed IT, it's proactive and it's subscription based. And how that kind of plays into how our software helps with that is, an RMM, remote monitoring and management platform. We're responsible for providing remediation tools. So these include things like remote access, background management, antivirus integrations. So if there's something wrong within those endpoints that you're managing, we give you the tools to directly remediate, without you being on site, right? Second is alerting and notifications, right? So part of being proactive is that you're monitoring all endpoints in real time. So basically, NinjaRMM, we provide proactive monitoring, to endpoints, that includes like Windows, Macs, it even includes things like SNMP devices. So we give you notification of what's wrong, right? The other two really important aspects of an RMM, one serves with IT compliance, right? So this deals with things like patch management. So we can manage, all OS updates for Windows. We could run a software inventory across all devices that the MSP is managing. And then lastly, integrations. So integrations, I will talk about this specifically, but typically you will want an RMM that provides multiple integrations to different categories of tools, such as remote access, security, and backup. So moving on, why NinjaRMM? So this happened when we started the company about 5 years ago, 2013. A lot of us came from a company called PacketTrap. Our CEO, Sal, was actually the CTO of PacketTrap back in the day, and that was a network monitoring platform. So what we found was by talking directly to MSPs, we did thousands of surveys, right? Typically MSPs switch RMM platforms 2 to 3 times in a 5-year period, which if you think about it, this being a core business tool, that's quite often, right? And the top complaints or the top pain points that we gathered from the market survey was that number one, RMMs on the market today are complicated to use, and especially hard to train new technicians on the team. Poor user interface, that's tied directly into that. So retrofit SaaS. So we wanted to make it easy for you to deploy an RMM solution, right? So we don't require any infrastructure or anything you really have to set up on your own. All the infrastructure and the tech is based in the cloud. So really all you have to do is sign up for an account and you're really good to go. And lastly, the last complaint is just subpar or non-existent integrations, which we'll dive right into in the product demo on how we resolve that pain. Now, moving on to kind of a list of core features that NinjaRMM provides. I won't go into this into too much detail. AJ is going to be doing the product demonstration pretty shortly here. So we look at monitoring, and then we want to provide 360-degree view of monitoring, right? So this includes real-time feedback from Windows, Mac, and SMP devices. We want to provide a full suite of remediation tools, right, such as remote access, remote command line. We want to give you the ability to deploy scripts. So if things do go wrong on the endpoint, it should be very easy for you to fix. We provide a lot of IT automation capabilities. So leveraging our own powerful, leveraging our own policy framework, we can set scheduled tasks, and we can also enforce IT compliance through these automation tools. Patch management, which I mentioned, and then advanced reporting. So advanced reporting, that's another really important core feature. We give you the ability to generate executive summaries for system health. You can get a list of software inventory. You can also even get connection reports of who's connected from Ninja into a particular endpoint for this day and time, and much more. Specifically, I want to talk about the monitoring piece a little bit more. And what does that mean for you guys, right? So first thing is for endpoint monitoring, it's performance based. We provide the monitoring data in real time, or at the minimum a 1-minute resolution to connect to the agent. It is cross-platform, so we support both Windows and Macs. We make it very easy for you to deploy the agent. It's low footprint. It doesn't require a lot of resources. So there's a lot of flexibility in terms of deploying, to different types of systems or even to virtual machines because of the resource consumption levels. We do have some, network management functionality. So again, this is kind of like performance-based monitoring, right? Where we look at real time, some of the hardware metrics and some of the bandwidth metrics as provided by SMP devices. We also do some traps, syslogs, and we also monitor. We also have an integrated NetFlow viewer. So if you have, a firewall deployed and you want to send traffic data into Ninja, you're able to do that. Customizable alerts and notifications. So this part is very important, and it looks like I have a typo here. But what that allows you to do is we have over 100 conditions with customizable thresholds. So anytime a device or an endpoint, crosses a certain threshold and you want to be alerted on, we give you the full power to customize and alert that. And you can get notifications via both text messages or emails, whatever you like. Activity streams. So, we keep track of all historical data that happens on each individual device, and you almost get a Twitter-like feed of everything that has happened on a particular endpoint. So if you want to go back and do some diagnostics, figure out what happened, at this point in time, and what caused a certain issue, we give you the full capabilities to do that. And just, I want to dedicate some time to talk a little bit about our integrations before we move on into the demo portion. So for remote control, we partner with some, just best of class vendors in general. So for remote control, we have integrations with TeamViewer and Splashtop, who I'm sure AJ will demo one of the two shortly. We work with WebRoots, Malwarebytes, ThreatTrack, and Bitdefender on the antivirus front. So what that means is, if you have an endpoint you're monitoring and you want to add AV monitoring, Webroot's Malwarebytes or ThreatTrack or Bitdefender, you can actually do that pretty easily through one-click deployment in our system. And we also bill you single source, right? So you pay for the Ninja agent. You also have the opportunity to add on the Webroot bundle if you so choose. We have some great integrations with some PSA tools in the market. The well-known ones are ConnectWise, Autotask. We also integrate with Repair Shopper, Communicate, and a bunch of other PSA tools. Backup, that's another really important category. So right now we have a single pane integration with StorageCraft and Cloudberry. So both integrations allow you to schedule for backups all within the Ninja dashboard. You could, it's pretty easy for you to, pick which file and folder you want to back up into the cloud, and all the settings you need to manage, right? For both StorageCraft and Cloudberry, you're able to do so inside of Ninja single pane. The others, IT Glue, that's a popular one for IT documentation. Warranty Master, so we have an integration Warranty Master where, for any endpoint that we monitor with a serial number, we can automatically perform a warranty lookup, for those devices and see the warranty coverage on that. So with that long introduction, AJ, I'd like to pass you the presenter access so you can give a product demonstration.
Awesome, Andy. Thank you so much. Let me see if I can make myself the presenter. Awesome. Let's kill this and show my screen. One moment. All right. Andy, can you confirm if you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen, AJ. Looks great.
All right, beautiful. So thank you so much, everyone, for attending the demo today. Again, and Andy, you summed it up really well. So I'm AJ. I'm the Director of Product at Ninja, and I'll be happy to give you a walkthrough of the actual product. So what you're seeing right now is our system dashboard. Shows you all your customers with underlying devices. So this is assuming you're an MSP. If you're like a corporate IT, then this could be the different locations that you support or the different offices that you might be helping support. So you can see all these locations with different issues on here. Let's say there's some active threats on some devices. There's some pending Windows patches. There's some trigger alerts based upon the conditions that you set up. There's some servers down. There's pending third-party patches and whatnot. And then you could drill down to a location by clicking the icon here, and you'll see the similar view but focus on that location. And here you can also remediate. So like in this case, you see 5 alerts trigger on Natalia's MacBook. So I can go in here and I could start resetting those alerts right from the screen. In this case, there's a pending patch. I could go in here and I could approve the patch for the device or reject it for the device or for the whole policy. So it gives you different points where you can remediate and work on things. And then, of course, I could drill down to a device by clicking the device here. And if you can see here, there's quite a lot of meaningful information here. Things like, the product key for your Windows installation. There's the public IP, the private IP, the uptime of the machine. Again, this is an important thing, right? Because you preferably want to reboot your desktops maybe once every week or two, and your servers probably once a month. So that's going to help you here. If you want to work on a machine and fix something, idle time will help you out because it will tell you that, hey, somebody is actively working on a machine, so you probably don't want to, barge in yet. And so that's helpful there. And of course, it shows you the logged in user, which helps you determine who might be using the machine right now. Now, we also let you, or we give you lots of scripts that you could perform or execute right out of the box. So there's quite a decent list of scripts that we provide here. If you don't see the ones that you're looking for, then you can upload your own scripts as well. And Ninja supports all popular scripting languages, ranging from PowerShell, VBScript, JavaScript, Batch, and CMD files. So you could do that. You could also run the remote command line remotely, or you could run the command line remotely, should I say. So without bothering the end user, and it's pretty much real time. So I'm going to show it in demonstration. I'm going to ping the Google DNS, and you saw the responses are pretty much real time. So this is as if you're working on the machine itself. So I'm going to do a Control-C to kill this. Wrong button. I'm on a Mac. And I could also run the PowerShell command line here. So I could go into PowerShell. So this gives me unrestricted access to this machine. Moving on. If I want to remote control into this machine, so again, going back to Ninja's vision, so from the day we started the company, our vision was to be an ecosystem vendor. We strongly believe that MSPs have religions. Every single IT guy has a certain preference of the software he wants to use. So that's why we thought of bringing the best in every single category, be it remote control, backup, antivirus, PSAs, and whatnot, and bring them under the single pane of glass experience that is Ninja. So Ninja is more like a single place or single stop shop marketplace for you to use these tools and get value out of them, get single billing, get like month-to-month contracts and whatnot. So with that goal in mind, for remote control, we have two options. One is Splashtop and the other one is TeamViewer. Let me quickly go over TeamViewer. So we actually boast of the best integration with TeamViewer in the whole industry. The reason we say that is because we sync your users, devices, and customers from the Ninja account to the TeamViewer account, which means your TeamViewer account will look something like this. So you'll see all your customers with the underlying devices, which means you could be on the road. You can just connect to the device directly using your iPhone or your iPad or your smart device without having to log into Ninja. And from Ninja, connecting to the device is a breeze. If I click this icon, it takes a second, makes an API call, and boom, you're connected. Moving on. So if I go into device details now, this will show me, first of all, the top 10 processes by CPU consumption, or in other words, the processor hogging services or processes. And I could go in here and kill them right from here. I could do the same for the memory hogs as well. I could go into Windows services and search for a service. And I could start, stop, or restart the service right from here. And also I could change the startup type of the service if I don't want that to run anymore. Further, if I go to the software tab, I can see all the installed software on this machine, which I can then single select or multi-select and uninstall that all in the background. And if I go to the OS patches tab, here I could see all the installed patches across, on this device. And I could search for a KB number here as well to make sure it's installed or not. And if there were any pending or failed patches, I could, take care of them right from here. So I could approve the patch for the whole policy or just for this device. So it gives you, as I said, lots of ways to do things from like different areas of the software. So since I mentioned policies now, let's talk about policies. So Ninja manages everything from this central entity called a policy. So consider a policy more like a monitoring template that will decide how a device will behave once onboarded with Ninja. So I'm going to drill down to a policy now. So go to configuration and go to policies and go into one of my test policies. So policy is tied to a device role. In this case, I'm going to showcase a workstation policy. So first thing here is the conditions. If I go in here and go to add conditions, this is my master list. So things like if the CPU breaches a threshold, same with memory, if a process is down or a Windows service is stopped, if a Windows event comes in with a specific event ID or source, if a device is down, the hard drive smart status is degraded, or if the server RAID status is degraded, it will send you a notification, which could be sent over via an email or a text message, as Andy mentioned. And then also, if you have your PSA integration turned on, you could create a ticket in the PSA software automatically. And lastly, you could also remediate the fired alerts by using the scripts built into Ninja. And if you don't see the script that you're looking for, you can go to run script. Again, upload your own script here, provide the command line switches, if any, and pick the user context you want to run that under. So this is, again, the whole goal of providing automation, right? Ninja will pick up the problem. Ninja will also auto remediate based upon the settings that you configure here. One more thing here worth mentioning is our out-of-box template. So let's say you want to onboard a brand new customer who has a shiny Exchange Server 2010. So what you need to do here is you will just go into Exchange Server 2010 services. The moment I click this, a condition gets added with every single service that matters for that device type. So again, this will help you with very quick onboarding for your devices or your customers' devices. Now, all the action that you saw on the previous tab can also be run in a standalone fashion from here. So you go to add a schedule action, give it a friendly name, pick the schedule, how often I want to run it, and I can finally give the script that I want to run, which again could be the pre-canned ones or your own scripts. Next comes Windows patching, again, a very, very important part of any RMM tool. So this makes sure that your Windows machines are up to date with the latest and more secure patches. So with that goal in mind, again, Ninja has a phenomenal, Windows patching mechanism built in here. So first of all, you can even suppress the reboot even if the patch requires the same. And there's two different cases. If your user is logged in, you can have different settings, versus if your user is not logged in, you can have different settings here. Here's the scan and update schedule, which is pretty obvious, so I won't spend time on that. This is the brain of this feature. So if you from here till here, so you have 6 + 1, 7 different types of Windows updates based upon the Microsoft API, and each of these updates come with their own severity levels. And each of these severity levels further is actually a 3-way switch in Ninja. So you can either pre-approve a patch category, pre-reject a category, or select manual. What manual is going to do is it's going to leave the patch on the machine till you as an MSP explicitly is going to approve or reject the patch for the device or for the whole policy. Closely tied to Windows patching is third-party patching. So things like Java, .NET, Adobe, which are again a pain to install. We can actually control that directly through Ninja. So if you go to software, we can patch 140 softwares from Ninja today. So that is thanks to our integration with this company called Ivanti, which is an enterprise-grade, third-party patching software. So all your .NET, Java, Adobe, Flash, in fact, all versions of browser, Dropbox, Evernote. If you further scroll down, you would see Exchange Server. In fact, all versions of Office starting from 2003 up till 365. So you name it, it's here. And again, it's very simple to deploy. Last piece here under the policy is the antivirus. So we have one AV of choice today, which is WebRoot. We also resell Bitdefender and Malwarebytes, and we will be integrating with Bitdefender by the end of Q2 this year. So you'll have multiple options where you can actually push out WebRoot to Ninja. You can run scans. You can see the scan results and whatnot. Now, next thing I want to talk about is backups. So we offered you two options today. One is actually our integration with Shadow Protect. And the other option is, which again is an alpha and that's going to be released to the public, is our single pane of glass integration with Cloudberry. So Shadow Protect lets you, in other words, we can install, manage, monitor, and license Shadow Protect directly from the Ninja console. We can create a backup job here. It has a two-way sync property here. So if you create a job here, it propagates to the endpoint or vice versa. And Shadow Protect is just the image level backup software. However, Cloudberry that's going to be released soon is going to be giving you ability to do both filing folder level backups as well as image-based backups. So again, that's like the high-level summary on the backup. Then we also have a very powerful network monitoring engine. Again, as Andy mentioned before, so the core team of Ninja, including myself, came from this product called Packet Trap MSP, which was an RMM tool that was primarily focused towards network or SNMP monitoring. So we have that code base, which is should I say, reskinned and the foundation of our Ninja NMS agent. So let me show you a device and that'll give you a fair idea of what we can perform from a networking perspective. So this is a Cisco firewall. It's the ASA 5505 sitting in my San Francisco office. So you can see all this basic information here. You can also see all the adapters and whatnot with the traffic utilization there. And one tab here, again, this is very useful feature. People love it. This is NetFlow. So if your device supports NetFlow or any of the variants like JFlow that's supported by Juniper, or SFlow that's supported by Dell and HP, or IPFix that's supported by SonicWalls, you will be able to see any piece of traffic that leaves the network or joins the network at any given time. And there's a few different views that we provided to you from a troubleshooting perspective. First is by conversations. So any internal IP going to any external IP. So you can see the overall percentage of traffic it's consuming. And I could then click on conversation, see when all it occurred, and the ports and the protocols being used. Another view is by applications, or should I say the ports. So here I could check, traffic of a certain type. Like I can see all the HTTPS traffic over TCP, or HTTP traffic. Another view is by domains, and this is mostly used for compliance purposes. So this is where you can check like if your users are actually going to the right sites or the approved sites or not. So here I could see things like, hey, who's going to Amazon AWS or going to LinkedIn right now. And last piece here is endpoints, which will tell you or show you the audit log of a specific machine, what it's been up to. So this Buckman laptop, which all sites he's going to. So as you can see, it's really granular. Another feature that's worth showcasing is config backup. So if you have a Cisco or an HP device, we can show you the config right in the Ninja console. And not only that, if anybody makes a change to the config, let's say some hacker logs into the router at 1 a.m. in the morning and makes some changes to the code, it will send you a notification right away. We can also monitor SNMP traps and syslog information on these devices. So that was the high-level summary of your NMS feature. The last and the most important feature here is reporting, which again will help you showcase your value to the customers that you're serving. So with that goal in mind, Ninja has quite a few reports. So first one I'm going to show you is our executive summary report. So this is a report that probably would be customer facing. And let's actually look for one that's for Ninja HQ. Oh, I actually wanted to click view. And I also want to load up another report while this is loading up. So let's show you the first executive summary report here. So here you have 4 different parameters on the basis of which you create a health score. So this will show you a state of the health of the entire customer. You want it to be 100% mostly. And if you go to the bottom of this report, you can see all the different aspects of monitoring that Ninja covers. So AV status, team your session that you set up, software changes, hardware changes, overall alerts triggered, the new devices added to the system and whatnot. The other report here is a patch compliance report. This is one of our newer reports, and this covers both Windows patching as well as third-party patching. So here we show you top devices with failed OS patches, with failed third-party patches, similarly with pending OS patches, pending third-party patches. And if you scroll down, here is a patch enablement dashboard. Shows you every single device in the system that has patching turned on versus the total number of devices. So you want it to be 100%, right? Because you want to make sure your RMM tool is taking control of the patching for you. If you move further down, you actually have a few different graphs based upon different aspects. Like this is for servers, the number of patches installed versus number of patches available, and this is like the percentage of that. And then if you go down further, you will see every single patch in the system, how many machines it's installed on, approved on, pending on, failed on. So as I said, it's a very detailed report. There's another report worth showcasing, which is our asset summary report, which is again one of our newer reports. So let's click view. So this shows you every single device type in the system. And you can also see the change log for the recently added devices. Then you see the devices by operating system. Again, mostly you will see a lot more colors here again, since I have a very specific device set. So I have like 15 devices with Windows 10. That's why you see this number really high up there. But yeah, you'll see a lot more rainbow colors here, if you will. If I move down, here's the Mac operating system separation. And then you have a list of every single device under this customer with all these details. So serial number, the operating system installed, the actual install date of the operating system, processor, memory, the disk type, if it's an SSD or a regular drive, what's the smart status, and whatnot. If I move further down, I have another report by your NMS devices. So it'll show you all the devices by different vendors and then by device types. And then you further have a devices by component types. So by processor, video card, sound card, hard drives, and whatnot. And at the bottom, you have a list of every single device based upon the RAM capacity. One last feature in terms of reporting is this. So we call it our device search. So this is real-time database query-based reporting. Here I can give the query a name. and I can tell Ninja, hey buddy, for any device in the system, or show me all devices in the system which satisfy the following criteria. Show me devices with operating system equals Windows 7 Professional, and maybe let's say devices with RAM less than 8 gigs. Update, I'm going to save the query, and once that comes back, it's going to show the results of the query and give me a subset of devices that satisfy those criteria. And I can export that list as a CSV. This is a really beefy CSV with lot more fields that that you'll see there. So you can do all kinds of forensics on that report. So you can do things like, hey, show me devices with things like pending, rejected, or failed patches. Show me devices with things like, let's say a certain piece of software, maybe like .NET, installed or not installed. So you can get really creative with this. And we're going to add like 15 more filters to this already pretty good list of filters here. So you can query a lot more database parameters real time. So that's all about reporting. Last piece here is Ninja is community driven. Our, again, goal from day one has to be to create something that is based upon feedback from MSPs like yourself. And with that goal in mind, the community is actually integrated with Ninja. So if you go to community here, it will take you to a community. I have to go different because I'm the admin, but you will see this community, which will be a single sign-on, which will have your login here as well. So here you can see lots of documents that we created in terms of how to do certain things and whatnot. There's a lot of FAQs and MSP forums. So here is where people collaborate and discuss what they like or not like about Ninja, something that they want to share. Maybe there's a fancy script that they found or some cool way of doing something through Ninja. And then there's a feature request section, which again, me and my team looks at every single week, where you can vote on features or, suggest a new feature that you want us to build. And based upon your feedback, we adjust our roadmap. So again, if you become a part of our family, we would love you guys to contribute more here and make this product even better. And with that being said, I think that brings us to the end of this demo. Andy, did we get any questions?
Yeah, I got a bunch of questions, which I answered, and then I think generally speaking, there's some questions around, is there integration between Ninja and Untangle? Amy, would you like to handle that one?
Sure. So the reason we wanted to bring Ninja to present to you guys today is to kind of gauge your interest and get your feedback about a potential deeper level of integration between the two products and companies. So feel free to respond to us on the question panel, or you can always drop us a line after the webinar. We'll be sending out a link to the recording with our contact info.
Thank you. And then we have some questions around our integrations, AJ, where do we offer kind of like a bundle with TeamViewer? I thought that would be useful for everybody.
Absolutely. So yeah, again, there's different bundles that Ninja provides. So you can bundle in TeamViewer, you can bundle in Splashtop, you can bundle in WebRoot, you can also bundle in StorageCraft or Cloudberry. So there's endless bundles that you could create. So again, if you're interested, we can get you in touch with one of our sales reps who can walk you through the different things that we can help you bundle and probably save money there.
Great. And then, of course, we our pricing model works by, you pay per monitor device, right? So it's pretty simple. It's month to month, and yeah. I don't have any other questions related to the product, AJ. So I think I think we're good. Unless there's something else you wanted to present or highlight for the audience.
I think that sums it up again. I would say again, if you guys have any questions, please get in touch with Shannon and the Untangle team, and they will send the questions to us, and we'll be happy to show you what we have to offer here.
Great, thank you, AJ and Andy. As I mentioned, this webinar, was to gauge interest to see if there was enough interest for a potential integration between Ninja and Untangle. So hopefully, this webinar showcased some really great solutions that Ninja provides. This webinar was recorded, and so we will be sending a follow-up email with that recording as well as a survey that just so we can gather some more information from you guys. So I'd appreciate if you take the time to take that survey. Thank you, Andy and AJ, for the great presentation. Again, if you have any questions, please email us, sales@untangle.com, so that we can answer your question either from Untangle side or Ninja side. Thanks so much. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you so much for having us. Thanks, everyone. Cheers. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.